All right. What is up, Digital Lit? Um, just checking in again with you guys. This is Sunday, the 29th, and I am just relaxing here. Got my zebra buddy right up here above me. I'm just I'm just checking in again and making sure you guys are okay. If you need anything, I'm just reminding you that I'm here. And sometimes I think that can be a little bit easier when it's not just like messages on the computer, an email, or a Schoology message, that you can actually see me and see that, hey, I'm doing work and I'm here for you, and that I'm genuine in what I'm saying. Because again, sometimes it can be hard to distinguish like what people are trying to say when they send an email or a text, and we may do something about that. Actually, I usually do something in class about that, and we may do that in a few days. So I just want you to see me and see that I am very genuine when I say, hey, I hope you're doing okay. Okay, that's first in my mind above all this work that you're doing. That's my job, and obviously I'm going to do that. But more so, I'm way more concerned that I'm hoping that you're staying safe, that you're staying quarantined at least somewhat. Maybe I'm not saying you have to shut yourself off in your house forever and never see anybody, but I hope that you're being safe. I hope that you're, taking this, seriously, and that, you're taking all the precautions, and your family's taking the precautions as they can, and that everybody's doing okay. I know lots of people are out of work, lots of people not making any money. I hope everything's going okay in your world. And if it's not, and you need help with that on a personal level, send me an email or something. Let me find somebody at school or outside the school or something that we'll find somebody that can help you. Okay. So just let me know. As far as schoolwork, if you need help with anything, send me an email, send me a Schoology message, send me something, let me know. And we can figure that out. Okay. So I do want to check in a little bit. I do want to show you one thing just really fast. I'm going to share my screen with you. All right. Here we go. Cool. All right. Now, I know you guys have a bunch of work. You have 7 classes. You're getting work in all 7 classes. And it's hard to know from class to class, but I really feel like you're getting a lot of work, and you're getting, some people have told me they're a little overwhelmed. I'm not going to add a whole bunch of extra work that wasn't already here. I'd actually put some work out that was going to be for this week. I only added one new assignment, right? So if you think about it, we are off. The first week was 3 days and then 2 more. So that's 13 days before spring break. I've got 12 days worth of work here, and I think that that's plenty. Because some of the stuff may take you longer than I feel like it should. Um, so I added one thing. I added a fake news article, and that's the only new thing that wasn't already in there. I've already kind of talked about this other stuff, but the fake news article is the new thing that I've added, and I really like this. And this isn't necessarily super digital lit, I guess, related, and maybe some of this wasn't anyways, but this is, of the work I've assigned, this is really important going forward, probably into your adulthood here, because in the world that we live in, there's so many news sources now. And I say news sources, and I'm going to put that in quotations. You go back, way back, in the past, you had just newspapers, or, even, you had, maybe not that far back, but you had TV. But even then, you only had a couple news channels, right? But now that we've gotten to the world of the internet, and it's crazy easy to make a website, and like literally anybody in the world can make a website and claim to be a news source. And what ends up happening, and it can be hard for even adults to distinguish like what is good hard fact news versus what's something that's maybe not, I don't want to say necessarily not real. Like, sure, some stuff's just flat out made up. Most of it's not made up, but what happens is like they take a story and then they just pull pieces of it out to the point that it doesn't really resemble what happened anymore. So what ends up happening a lot of times, and what I think is true, and what most experts will tell you, is a lot of news that we digest now ends up becoming basically just an echo chamber for what we already think. And when I say echo chamber, what I mean is like we hold certain views already, right? So we come in and we feel a certain way politically, or we feel a certain way about the world, or about a certain people or something. And then we read an article or some kind of news story. We hear a news story about that, right? News. And we hear, and it backs up everything that we already thought, right? So we already had these preconceived notions about things, and then this just backs up what we thought. Like, oh yeah, well there you go. See, I told you, right? I knew that this wasn't, that they were the worst in the world, right? So that's kind of what the news, it just reinforces, because it's not legitimate, like fact finding, like this is the story and it just is what it is, whether you like it or not. This is the story. It's not that. It's taking a story and then saying, okay, our viewers like to think this way, and so let's try to spin the story over here so that they're happy and not unhappy, right? And so it can be difficult, and we hear the word fake news a lot. I mean, even our president, he likes to throw out the word fake news all the time in his tweets and things, right? So what is fake news and what's not? So this is a pretty good article from NPR, which is honestly my favorite news source to get news from. I get most of my news from NPR. It's National Public Radio, and from what they lean a little bit one way, but for the most part, they stay pretty much down the middle for me, and I like that the best because I don't feel like they pull a lot of punches. Like the news is just what it is most of the time. That's where I get most of my news, and so there's an article from them, and it helps you distinguish like what is good, solid journalism versus what's just something there to get clicks or whatever. Okay, so you're going to read that. You're going to write me a pretty good summary. Please give me, like, show me what you've learned there, just like you did on the other articles. And that's all the new stuff. As far as the other work, I will tell you, I've not seen a lot of not a lot of problems. I was going to say questions, but I meant problems. The biggest thing I've seen when it comes to like the memo writing, the letter writing, things like that, you can just make up, like when it comes to, someone asked me today, and I've had a couple of people ask me already, when it comes to like the address and stuff on the letter and things like that, like you can just completely make it up as long as it follows the right format. That's really all that matters. I'm not looking that you actually look up an address somewhere and it's dead on accurate. So don't worry about that. Just give me the format correctly. I will say this is just a FY, PSA, whatever you want it to be here. I don't have a whole lot of work still. Some of you have done it all, and some of you've done a lot of it. And then there's some of you that have done nothing, right? Legitimate. And I sent a message about that earlier today on Schoology. If you know anyone in this class personally, like you have their telephone number, or some way, a reliable way to get in touch with them, just send them a message for me and just say, hey, Mr. Cassie just wants you to check in. He hasn't heard from you, or obviously maybe you wouldn't know, but you can send a message, say, hey, have you checked in Mr. Cassie, and just say, hey, Mr. Cassie, I know the work. I haven't done it yet, but it's on my radar for whatever reason. This is why I haven't done it, blah, blah, blah. Just, I'm just looking to hear from people, right? I've had some people in lots of classes have been like, at least contacted me and said, hey, this is where I'm at, and I haven't done any work yet because I'm really struggling with math or whatever, and I'm working really hard on that. Okay, and I'm going to get it done, but that's fine, right? I just want to hear from people, but there are several people in both first and second, because this is for digital lit, for both first and second, that I've not heard from at all. Like, I don't know where you're at or what's going on. And so if you know some of those people, or if you have a friend at all, just text them and say, hey, have you done any of Mr. Cassie's work, or have you checked in with him? And just say, and that would help me out, because obviously you guys have each other's personal numbers and I don't. I have emails that maybe you check or maybe you don't check, and I got YouTube videos that you could watch if you bother to get online to look for them. So other than start calling people's parents, which is not something I want to do, but something I may have to do, that's kind of where I'm at. So anyways, if you guys can help me out with that, if you know people, because I know some of your friends, and that would help me out if you want to do that. But other than that, that's really all there is when it comes to digital lit. That's where we are. If you have any questions about anything, if there's anything that I can do to help you in any way, shape, or form, just let me know. That's all I want to say. Have a great week. This is the last week before spring break. Obviously, I won't be assigning any new work for spring break. We do have another week after that, at least. Hopefully, that'll be it, but maybe not. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But we have at least one more week. So I'll have to be coming up with work for that, and I'll talk about that. I'll send you a video sometime over spring break talking about the work, and I'll like to maybe try to send a video to all the classes just right before spring break. So, but if you have questions, anything, let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much if you've hung with me this whole video. Again, I salute you like I did last time for hanging in there and listening to me talk for however long this has been. So, thank you so much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.